Why riders say Rwanda 2025 is the most brutal UCI championships ever.
The shorter 15-kilometer World Champs route this morning, just to get a little taste of what the pros are going to be doing when they're here.
This course is being described as the toughest in the history of the competition.
They came from all over the world, the strongest legs, the sharpest minds, the most ambitious teams. But nothing could truly prepare them for Rwanda. In 2025, for the first time in history, the UCI Road World Championships landed on African soil. A moment of pride for Rwanda and a nightmare for the peloton. Steep climbs, endless altitude, thin air, heat that bakes the tarmac, and roads that punish mistakes. For many, this race is not just about winning, it's about survival. Today, we dive deep into why the Kigali Championships are being called the toughest in UCI history. This is the story of pain, altitude, and glory on the roads of Rwanda.
The UCI Road World Championships are held in Africa, and the world has travelled to Africa, with the Worlds now underway in Kigali, Rwanda. It's a wonderful geographical setting, right in the heart of Rwanda, the country of 1,000 hills, and there were 4 of them on the parcours for the men's elite time trial world championships. The Côte de Nyanza to be taken on twice in an out-and-back start to the circuit. 3-time checks before you get to the Côte de Péage. And the final cobbled climb, the mighty Côte de Kimihurura, 1.3 kilometres long, and just like something you find in a Flemish classic. And it was a Fleming who would set the early fastest times. Ilan van Wilder was away, 21 seconds quicker, as the home fans put on a great show. The atmosphere incredible. This, the duel they all came to see. Tadej Pogacar versus Remco Evenepoel. Pogacar on his 27th birthday on a parcours.
Why Rwanda? Why here, and why now? For decades, the World Championships rotated between Europe, the Americas, and occasionally Asia. But Africa had never hosted. That changed in 2025. Rwanda, a small but ambitious nation, stepped forward. Kigali was chosen because of its growing cycling culture, the Tour du Rwanda already known as one of the hardest stage races in the world. The fans here don't just watch cycling, they live it. Streets lined with thousands, cheering every pedal stroke. But with pride came challenge. Kigali is no ordinary city. Sitting high above sea level, surrounded by endless hills, its nickname is not an accident. They call it the land of 1,000 hills. And every single one of those hills feels like a test designed to break even the strongest riders. The numbers don't lie. The men's elite road race? 267 kilometers, with over 5,400 meters of elevation gain. That's like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro halfway on a bicycle in one single day. The women's elite race? Shorter, but still cruel, 165 kilometers with 3,300 meters of climbing. For context, most World Championship routes in Europe average far less. This is double the punishment. Riders face endless circuits around Kigali. Long climbs with gradients that bite, technical descents with dangerous corners, even rough cobbled sections. There are almost no flat sections to recover. The rhythm is simple: climb, descend, climb again. One rider described it best: every lap feels like it's pulling the soul out of your legs. By the halfway point, the peloton is shattered. Sprinters drop off. Even seasoned climbers look cracked. Every kilometer feels like a battle. But it's not just the hills. Rwanda's altitude makes every breath harder. Kigali sits around 1,500 meters above sea level. For riders accustomed to sea level oxygen, the lungs burn. Muscles starve. Recovery takes longer. Then comes the heat. The African sun shows no mercy. Temperatures climb, sweat pours. Hydration becomes a gamble between survival and collapse. And the roads? They're narrow, unpredictable. Some paved smooth, others cobbled or patched. Every descent is a gamble, every corner a risk. Crash here and you might never get back into the race. Add the mental strain. Fans cheering so loud you can't hear your own heartbeat. The pressure of being part of history. And suddenly, the invisible factors hit just as hard as the visible climbs. This is where champions are made or broken. Demi Vollering, a Tour de France Femmes champion, called the Kigali time trial the toughest of my career. Other pros admitted the course design feels merciless. One team director confessed, "We told our riders, just finishing this race will be an achievement." Cameras captured athletes collapsing over the line, faces twisted with pain, barely able to stand. Some abandoned before the finish, not from injury but sheer exhaustion. Even commentators from major broadcasters agreed, this course doesn't just crown the strongest rider, it exposes the weakest in brutal fashion. So, how do you survive in Kigali? Teams prepared months in advance, sending riders to altitude camps. Nutrition became science. Every gel, every sip of water was timed to perfection. Bikes were modified with lower gears for the endless climbs. GPS tracking was introduced to monitor positioning, making sure no one disappeared on the tough descents. Yet, even with preparation, the race turned unpredictable. Breakaways collapsed. Favorites cracked. Dark horses emerged, thriving in the chaos of the Rwandan hills. Beyond the suffering lies something bigger. This championship is a turning point. For the first time, the world of cycling looked to Africa as the center of endurance, not just a distant stage. Rwanda delivered a race that was not only historic but transformative. It proved that the toughest courses are not limited to the Alps or Pyrenees, that the land of 1,000 hills can humble even the most decorated riders. And for African cycling, it was a statement. We belong on the global stage.
The men's elite race will feature two particularly grueling challenges. The ascent of the Gulf and the punishing cobblestone climb of Kimihurura.
It keeps going and going.
I'm definitely feeling warm. It's a spicy climb. I haven't done actually the full cobblestone road before until this morning, and it's tough.
On race day, riders will take on the circuit 15 times.
Coming up at one time, I'm like, I think that's enough, yeah. There's everything from a nice gentle climb. We're gonna go on a nice gentle climb now to the classic just wall, anything that a cyclist wants.
During the competition, riders will cover 267 kilometers in total, finishing at Kigali's convention center.
So, is Rwanda 2025 the toughest UCI World Championships ever? The answer lies not in statistics alone, but in the faces of the riders. The grimaces, the cracked lips, the sweat-drenched jerseys, the desperate fight to keep turning the pedals. This was not just a race. It was survival. It was history. It was Rwanda. And one day, when people ask about the hardest world championships, the answer may simply be Kigali. What do you think? Was Rwanda 2025 the toughest race ever? Or do you remember another that broke riders just as much? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you love cycling stories, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the toughest battles on two wheels.